Call to order the October 10th, 2016 meeting of the Dover City Council. I ask you to please rise and join me for first a moment of silence. Our city lost one of its truly great citizens with the passing of Harry Hettinger this past week. I'd ask you to please join me in a moment of silence. I now invite Bishop Thomas Halsey to give us the invocation, followed by the pledge to our nation's flag, led by Councilman Hutchison.
Our Heavenly Father, we stand before you right now because you made a way for us that we all could be here. Let there be unity, understanding, and peace of mind. Let the council work together, Lord, to have a peaceful community in all things. Let it be done decent and in order. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gentlemen, you have before you this evening's agenda. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
I move to accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Sudler, seconded by Councilman Neal to approve the agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries unanimously. We now have before us the consent agenda. Those items on the council agenda which are considered routine and non-controversial are marked with an asterisk and will be acted upon by a single roll call vote of the council. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of council so requests, in which event the matter shall be removed from the consent agenda and considered a separate item. What is the pleasure of council?
So moved.
Second.
I'd like to pull an item.
Councilman Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to remove item 5B, the August City Manager's Report from the consent.
Councilman Anderson has requested that item 5B be pulled from the consent agenda. Are there any other changes to the consent agenda? Is there a motion to accept the consent agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Sudler, seconded by Councilman Neal to accept the consent agenda as amended. Is there any further discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Sudler?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Hosfeld?
Yes.
Mr. Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Staple?
Yes, motion carries unanimously. We now have agenda item number 2A, a certificate of appreciation to the Friends of Old Dover. I'd invite Mayor Robin Christensen and Mr. Larry Josephowski, President of the Friends of the Old Dover, to the podium and request the city clerk to read the certificate into the record.
Excuse me, point of personal privilege, could you please speak into the mic so we can hear you better? Thank you.
My apologies.
Certificate of appreciation presented to the Friends of Old Dover for contributing their labor, time, and energy to clear weeds and debris from Constitution Park on September 24th, 2016, and for their continued efforts to restore the appeal of this significant cultural and historical landmark. Your public service and selflessness have increased the quality of life for the residents of the city of Dover.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the mayor and council and the citizens of the city of Dover, I am pleased to present you with this certificate of appreciation. And this is for the Friends of Old Dover. You don't look that old, but I guess you're probably one of the younger Friends of Old Dover. So we appreciate all the Friends of Old Dover do, and you're going to play a very important role in our 300th birthday coming up, kicking off on Dover Days 2017. So thank you for your service. Thank you. Can you say anything?
Oh, sure, if you don't mind.
Oh, he wants to say something.
We'll permit it.
2 pages. It was just a certificate of appreciation.
I just want to say that the Friends of Old Dover certainly appreciate the recognition. Constitution Park is certainly one of our smaller parks, but I dare say it is probably one of the most viewed sites, located near pretty much every significant downtown location. The condition was
brought forth Tom Smith, who works right on about a block from there, had noticed it, and he kind of spearheaded the effort to get this started. We did the general cleanup. We spent a lot of basically we got 8 big trash cans full of ivy, both English and poison ivy, as some people can attest to. We moved trash, bottles, and cans and with a very large amount for such a small park. We think there's a lot that we've done. There's a lot more to be done. We plan on doing some power washing. Some repair work needs to be done on the mortar, as well as the electrical system and the lights. And we have to work on the holly bushes, or now holly trees, and as well as some additional plantings. Councilman Slavin has mentioned some possible assistance from the city, and we look forward to that as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Agenda item 2B is a certificate of congratulations for Delaware State University's 125th anniversary. I would invite Councilman Sudler, Dr. Harry Williams, President of the university, and Dr. Victor Santos, Director for Government and Community Relations, as well as anyone else from the Delaware State community who wanted to join Dr. Williams at the podium, and ask the city clerk to please read the certificate into the record. And anyone who would like to take pictures is welcome to come down on the floor like this young man and just take pictures.
Dr. Michoud, you have to read on the shoe page. Please, right here. And all of the Delaware State University alumni and current staff members and students that are here. I, Roy Sudler Jr., would like to present to Dr. Harry Williams the certificate of congratulations for 125 years of service, not only as a legacy of Dr. Luna Michoud, Dr. Will Michoud, and my Aunt Reverend Michoud, but also as a leadership. You have shown great leadership at Delaware State University, and we appreciate your leadership in the 4th District as your councilman. And I'm sure the mayor would also like to have a few words.
Well, I think that kind of says it all, but I was going to come up with the same corny line I usually do. I attended Delaware State College. My wife graduated from Delaware State College. My daughter, second oldest daughter, graduated from Delaware State University, and I have a sophomore who's taking my money and going to Delaware State University. So Dr. Williams, Delaware State University has been part of Dover for 125 years, and Dover is part of Delaware State University. So we're very pleased to present you with this certificate of congratulations, and I have one last thing to say. Hornets rising! Dr. Williams, would you like to say a few words?
Mr. President and Mr. Mayor and members of this distinguished council, and especially Legacy Sudler, thank you for this incredible opportunity to recognize Delaware State University. This university started as a state college for colored students 125 years ago in 1891, and 125 years later, it is a full-fledged university. Started with 12 students, 3 faculty members on the Lockerman plantation. The Lockerman home is still there, still standing. And today we have a robust enrollment of over 4,500 students, 200 faculty members, 800 staff members, and over 19,000 distinguished alumni around the world. So to be here tonight and to receive this certificate of congratulations on behalf of the university, I accept. And I will pass this on to the Board of Trustees. We're blessed to have a member of our Board of Trustees whose father, as it was referenced earlier, was the 7th president of Delaware State University, Dr. Michoud, who inherited the university in 1960, and he served with distinction for over 27 years. And to have his daughter, Dr. Wilma Michoud, to come in to be a member of our Board of Trustees is absolutely amazing. So we have her here tonight, and we also have her sisters here also with us. And both of them played in the house that we're still living in on the campus of Delaware State University. But we also have with us the national president of the Alumni Association, Ms. Sheila Davis, who is here with us. And members of the Kent County Alumni Association. Some of you may know the Marshalls back here in the back. They're our #1 Hornet fans. We inducted them into the Hall of Fame, and they wear their rings with a great deal of pride. So hold your ring up. This is the one night they forget their ring. But again, this is a great honor, and I want to thank the city for supporting Delaware State University. We are a family, and we feel a part of this community, and we're blessed to be here. And I want to thank everybody who's been a part of helping Delaware State become the university that it is today. More to come. Thank you. Yes, the mayor just reminded me homecoming is this Saturday, and we will be marching straight down Lockerman Street. So those of you who come out, my wife is going to be throwing some candy out there. If you want some candy, you can come get some candy.
Not wanting to ruin the picture, I'm a 1982 alumnus of Delaware State College. And felt kind of slighted when you eliminated the men's golf team, because I played for Dr. Kerry Russell on scholarship from the golf team.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. You want to get a picture of the
Bill, you want to come up here? 52 to 62. Mr. Marshall, you're the oldest graduate that's here. If you want to come forward. Ms. Marshall.
While they're gathering for this picture, I'll just mention that the service of the Michoud family to the city has not stopped. Earlier this evening, by our actions, Reverend Rita Michoud Page was appointed to the Dover Human Relations Commission. We want to thank her for her service.
Anybody else? Okay. He is.
Thank you all very much. We'll now move to item 2C, the Mayor's 2016 Arts Awards. First recipients to invite up to the podium are Jack and Jeffrey Kidner.
The chairman of the Arts Commission to step forward.
Absolutely. If you can step forward, I'll read the blurb they have on the brothers Kidner here. Brothers Jack and Jeffrey Kidner formed a bluegrass ensemble known as Road 599 when they were quite young. The ensemble, a string bass and fiddle, performs regularly for local and regional events. Since that time, they have excelled in many competitions and have taken first place prizes in the Delmarva Folk Hero Contest and the National League of American Penwomen Youth Artistic Excellence Competition. The brothers are high school juniors at the time of their nomination. In addition to their musical talents, both are good students and play lacrosse and are active in their church. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Which one of you is the oldest? Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. On behalf of the city, we are very pleased, and the Greater Dover Arts Council, to present you with this very heavy award on your accomplishments. And it's fine to see young people who take an interest in music. Why did you pick the name that you did for your group?
We always had an interest in the music growing up, and our grandfather sitting right back here, he would take us to Sam Yoder's barn down there in Greenwood, and we listened to a group called, well, it was Little Roy Lewis and the Lewis family, and he was picking the banjo and bluegrass style that we liked. And Jeff here, he loved the banjo, and I decided guitar would be a good instrument to go along with that. And our grandfather lived on what was named Road 599, so we named it after that, for him taking us to Sam Yoder's barn and listening to the music.
That's a nice tribute, but you should have called it Route 13. But anyhow, Chevis, and we're not going to slate you because you came second. So here's the award that we're presenting you on behalf of the City of Dover and the Greater Dover Arts Council, and we're very pleased to present you with that. And do you want to say a couple words? Even though you're second, you get to say something.
Well, he summed it all up, but just thank you for the award, and thank you for everything that you're doing for us.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you.
I would now invite Michael Kosior to the podium to join Mayor Christensen. And am I pronouncing your last name right?
Yes.
Michael Kosior is a percussionist who plays drums in several different bands, is active in the school marching band, and provides accompanying percussion for a variety of community activities and events. He participates in drama productions and has performed in several shows at the Schwartz Theater. He is a good student and a member of the basketball team. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Michael, on behalf of the City of Dover and the Greater Dover Arts Council, we are pleased to present you with this award. And Michael was also a member of the Youth Advisory Committee and served very well there. So we appreciate your service. And can you give us a little bit of what you do and things that you like to do, or just give a quick overview of yourself?
I mean, I just love to play the drums. I play them every day. I'm in a bunch of bands, but it's a lot of fun. And, you know, I just enjoy doing it. And I'm glad that I'm able to do it for the city. So it's a lot of fun.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
And thank you to Michael's parents who put up with him practicing every day.
I would now invite the representatives of the Inner City Cultural League to join Mayor Christensen at the podium.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very upset that the person who should be here to accept this award is not here, but he is performing as usual. So in his stead is his daughter, who is accepting it on his behalf. And
I'm going to read, the Inner City Cultural League was founded in 1990 as a community artistic and cultural resource. The Sankofa African Dance Company, the Sankofa String Orchestra, and the Dondell Theater Program are three of the long-standing arts programs which provide an experience in the arts for young people and an introduction to the arts genre of African and African American culture for the community at large. These three programs have thrived through the years, led by volunteers and supported by family and friends. Mr. Mayor.
thank you, Mr. President. This is the epitome of what a lot of people do in Dover. A lot of people talk about what they're going to do. A former member of this body, Councilman Reuben Salters, founded this group. They continue to be long playing, long dancing, and probably one of the greatest cultural treasures that we have in the city. So we are very pleased on behalf of the city to present you and the Greater Dover Arts Council to present you with a much-deserved award. Would you like Chevis to carry that? It is kind of heavy. We bought the heavy ones this year. So would you like to say a couple words on behalf of your dad?
He's better at that than I am, but I'd like to say that this is Miss Denise Barnes Hicks Barnes. I'm sorry. She's our executive director for the Inner City Cultural League, and she's been with us for a little while working. You'll see her out along with my dad running around from place to place. That's my husband sitting in the audience. He puts up with me being there day and night, night and day. We just appreciate the city of Dover and that you appreciate us, and we thank you very much. String Orchestra concert on October the 30th, 6 o'clock at our new Cultural Arts Center. Thank you very much.
I'm going to give you a hug because I'll give you Dad a hug.
Okay.
Thank you. Now invite Dr. James Wilson to join Mayor Christensen at the podium.
So before you read this the scenario on this. Dr. Wilson? He had to go. Well, we're going to present this award with him in absentia, but I did want to make a few comments before you read this, Mr. President, that Dr. Clark was supposed to be here this evening, but he's on a speaking engagement. He wanted me to tell you what a treasure that Dr. Wilson is to Wesley College as well as the city of Dover and the greater Dover community for his efforts, and this is why we're making this award to him. So, Chevis, if you'll make sure that he gets that award. Mr. President, if you want to read the scenario.
Dr. James Wilson has worked the past 6 years to promote and strengthen the arts in Dover through his work with Wesley College, Delaware Choral Society, and Chamber Choir, and the Wesley United Methodist Church. Dr. Wilson has built the music program at Wesley College from the ground up, and now approximately 20% of all Wesley students participate in one or more of its courses. Dr. Wilson is the first person to bring a fully staged opera to Dover with the production of Amal and the Night Visitors at the Schwartz Theater. He is an accomplished soloist who has performed in a variety of locales up and down the East Coast. In addition to his role as a college professor, he is also a band conductor. His resume spans many years.
And once again, thanks to Dr. Wilson.
And finally, I would invite the English country dancers to join Mayor Christensen at the podium. The English Country Dancers is a long-standing, 4 decades-long group of community-minded citizens who restored an historic art form of 18th and 19th century country dance. The troupe holds monthly English country dances, as well as dances on New Year's Eve and Twelfth Night. They perform publicly at the 18th century Market Fair, A Day in the Life of the John Dickinson Plantation, Old Dover Days, First Night, the Delaware Agricultural Museum, and Woodburn, and numerous venues around the Delmarva Peninsula and the Mid-Atlantic states. They lead a variety of workshops and dances to teach the art and craft of dancing to community members.
Thank you, Mr. President. So on behalf of the citizens of the city of Dover, the Greater Dover Arts Council, we present you with this award for 40 years of service to our community and preserving the fine traditions of 18th century dancing. So let's give them a big hand.
Well, I'm just accepting this because I happen to be the president at the moment of the English Country Dancers, but I would like to thank first our founders, Winfried and Edith Mraz and Alex and Rosemary Apostolina, who had the foresight to start this group in 1979, and all of those people who have continued the tradition since then. We will be performing at the Dover Market Fair on November 5th in front of the State House, and I invite all of you to come and learn a little bit about your heritage, English country dancing. Our forefathers did it as part of their daily activity, and George Washington was reputed to be an excellent dancer, so there's no reason that all of you can't join us there.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Andrews. I will offer some instructions to the people who were here for the awards. We take no offense if you'd like to take your leave now and go home. You're more than welcome to stay. You don't have to. Agenda item number 3 is a proclamation for National Community Planning Month. I would invite Mrs. Townsend, Director of Planning and Community Development, to join Mayor Christensen at the podium. And I would request the city clerk to read the proclamation into the record.
Whereas change is constant in every community and affects all of us, community planning and plans can help manage this change in a way that provides better choices for how people work and live. And whereas community planning provides an opportunity for all residents to be involved in making choices that determine the future of their community. The full benefits of planning requires public officials and citizens who understand, support, and demand excellence in plan development and plan implementation. And whereas the American Planning Association and its professional institute, the American Institute of Certified Planners, endorse National Community Planning Month as an opportunity to highlight the contributions sound planning and plan implementation make to the quality of our communities and environment. And whereas the 2016 theme is civic engagement, which underscores the necessity of engaging the public, elected officials, and key leaders in discussions that shape the future of our community. Now therefore, I, Robin R. Christensen, Mayor of the City of Dover, Delaware, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2016 as National Community Planning Month in the City of Dover, and encourage all citizens to join me in recognizing the participation and dedication of the members of the Dover City of Dover Planning Commission and the valuable contributions made by community and regional planners and our partner agencies at the state and county level, and extend our heartfelt thanks for the continued commitment to public service by these professionals and private citizens.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. So on behalf of myself, the members of the City Council, and the citizens of the City of Dover, we present you with this proclamation of appreciation for your service and the service of all the folks that work in your departments for their dedication and professionalism here in the City of Dover.
Thank you.
Would you like to say something?
Just briefly, you know, on the Monday that you guys aren't here, the third Monday of the month, our community planners and the Planning Commission come and they review all of the development applications, and really those members of the Planning Commission have really made the city what it is today, and we've had wonderful people on the Planning Commission. We actually have a very diverse representative Planning Commission, and it is truly a pleasure to work with them as well as with council to bring forward the vision and bring it to reality. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Townsend.
Our next item is item 5B, the city manager's report. Councilman Anderson, you had asked for this to be pulled off consent agenda.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a question I'd like to, basically I'm going to ask the question and then to give the city manager time to ask that it be deferred to a future either committee or meeting. I was curious about in the city manager's report about the human resources report in particular. I wanted to know what the breakdown was when it came to full and part-time employment. There's a breakdown of in the human resources report and different progress has been made with which relates to minority recruitment, but there's nothing that says if it's full-time or part-time, and that's something I'm quite curious about. So,
and as you know, we'll be being briefed on the city's EEO efforts in the second council of the whole meeting in October. So that is will be on the agenda for that time. Ms. Hawkins, perhaps Mr. Koenig, Ms. Hawkins could answer those questions at that time.
That would be appropriate.
Yep. Best we can. Any further questions for Mr. Koenig? We have a motion to accept Mr. Koenig's.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Sudler, seconded by Councilman Anderson to accept the city manager's report for July and August. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item number 6 is acceptance of proposal, supervisory control and data acquisition, master hardware, software replacement, sole source vendor. Mr. Koenig, please brief us on this item.
Thank you, Council President Slavin. In the packet tonight is an action form prepared by the Electric Department regarding a sole source vendor quote for replacement of the Master SCADA station software. Master SCADA station receives all the analog data door alarms and manages the controls for all the city's electrical substations and wastewater lift stations. The Master Station is comprised of dual host servers, dual operator consoles, a paging system, web servers, 2 firewalls for the DMZ, and 1 remote access support firewall. The station also allows the operators to modify and control the city's electrical grid remotely, thus reducing the amount of time outages affect our customers and residents. If the purchase is not made from the qualified sole vendor, the city would be in a position to completely overhaul the existing monitoring equipment in all of the city substations and lift stations to be compatible with the new software selection. Selection of another vendor will significantly increase the cost of the proposed project. The requested expenditure amount includes $114,370 for the master station software replacement and associated training for 2 personnel who are tasked with the day-to-day maintenance of the SCADA system. It's important to note that additional expenditures will be required to complete the project. However, those costs are included in the overall project budget of $150,000. Our current equipment will reach the end of its expected life expectancy very soon. It should be noted that the system runs continuously 24 hours per day, 7 days a week to monitor and track abnormalities in the electrical and wastewater systems. The additional firewalls will be required to conform to upcoming implementations of NERC CIP cybersecurity standards. Staff is recommending the purchase of the SCADA master hardware and software from the sole source vendor Siemens Energy Incorporated for $114,370. The breakdown of their quote is included in the packet for your information, as well as a copy of the CIP sheet that we use to budget for this expenditure. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
It's a pleasure, Council. Councilman Hare.
Move acceptance staff recommendation.
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Hare, seconded by, was that Councilman Cole? Seconded by Councilman Cole to accept staff recommendation purchasing the SCADA master hardware and software from the sole source vendor Siemens Energy for $114,370. Discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Sudler?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Hosfeld?
Yes.
Mr. Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Slavin?
Yes, motion passes unanimously. Agenda item 7A is evaluation of bids for the South New Street water main replacement. Mr. Coney, please brief council on this item.
Thank you, Council President Slavin. In the packet is a action form out of the Department of Public Works with respect to the evaluation of bids for the South New Street water main replacement project. In fiscal year 2017, the capital improvement plan includes a project called Water Quality Improvements. Staff identified the need for upgrading the existing 4-inch water main located in South New Street between Lockerman Street and Water Street. The existing undersized main was installed in approximately 1960 and is made of unlined cast iron pipe. This project will replace this main with a new 8-inch cement-lined ductile iron water main. New water main will provide City of Dover customers with improved water quality, increased system reliability, and improved fire protection. The bid was advertised to the public as an invitation to bid in accordance with the city's purchasing policy by the city's purchasing agent under ITB number 17-002 PW. Bids were opened on July 27, 2016. The original bids were brought to council but were rejected. A second invitation to bid was advertised in accordance with the city's purchasing policy by the city's purchasing agent under ITB number 17-000 9 PW. These bids were opened on September 22nd, 2016. City of Dover received 3 bids from the following contractors: Aztec Contracting Incorporated, Eastern States Construction Services Incorporated, and Gateway Construction. Staff has reviewed the submissions and found that Aztec Contracting Incorporated met all bid requirements for the qualifications of the project. Staff is recommending award of the contract to Aztec Contracting in the amount of $246,593.37 as the low bidder for the New Street water main replacement project. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Mr. Coney? Councilman Hosfeld.
We bid this out the first time. What were the 2 bids the first time we did this?
The first bid submission or evaluation of bids included Aztec Contracting Incorporated in the amount of $206,088.60. They were deemed non-responsive because they did not fill out all the correct paperwork to make their bid responsive. There was a second bid received from Teal Construction Incorporated in the amount of $292,500. That was staff's original recommendation bring forth to council. During the discussions, council requested that all bids be rejected the project was rebid shortly thereafter.
Same project, same guidelines?
There were some minor changes to, like, questions that were part of the original bid documents, but the same project parameters were exact in the rebid.
Thank you.
Councilman Anderson, then Councilman Sutherland. Did you have your hand up, Councilman Anderson? Councilman Sutherland.
The minor changes that you're discussing, what are the minor changes that you're discussing from the initial bid solicitation versus the second bid solicitation, which may have driven a higher cost?
I don't think there was anything that was a change that drove a higher cost in the bid documents. The changes that were made, to my knowledge, were in the original bid packet, there were questions that were asked in the review period. And so there were answers that were part of addendums in the first bid package. Those answers became incorporated into the project documents for the second bid so that there were no unanswered questions in the original project scope that was sent out for the second bid.
And what were those questions? What do those questions consist of?
I don't know what those questions were.
Other questions, Mr. Coe? Councilman Neal.
The original bid was, obviously, it was about $40,000 less, but it was incomplete. Are you satisfied that the amount, it was complete in terms of the second bid by Aztec?
I think the bid documentation that was not complete was not related to the bid sheet. They didn't turn in all of the project support documentation the first time around. So we are satisfied that the documentation that was submitted with this round is complete and meets the qualifications of a bid review.
And the original bidder that was acceptable was much higher than this. Was that not correct?
The first round, the lowest responsible bidder that answered all the questions was 290. 290. Just added a minute ago.
It was considerably higher.
It was $292,500 as the base bid.
Thank you.
Other questions, Mr. Koenig? What is the pleasure of council? Councilman Anderson.
Do you have a question, Councilman Sutherland?
Well,
because I was going to make a motion, so if you have a question,
I yield.
I'll delay. Mr. President, I move that we accept the staff recommendation in the action form, which is that they award the contract to Aztec Contracting for the City of Dover New Street Water Main Replacement Project, bid number 17-009 PW for the amount of $246,593.37.
Second is the motion.
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Anderson, seconded by Councilman Neal to accept staff recommendation, award the contract to Aztec Contracting for the New Street Water Main Replacement Project for the amount of $246,593.37. Any further discussion?
Yes, Mr.
Councilman
President.
Sudler and then Councilman Anderson.
My discussion is current to the motion. I wanted to move to suspend the current rules so that we can hear from the community, seeing that there is a constituent here that has a question in regards to her taxpayer dollars being spent. I don't know how appropriate that may be at this time, but that was my concern.
So the motion's been made by Councilman Sudler to suspend the rules to allow for public discussion from the constituent in the audience. Is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
It's moved by Councilman Sudler and seconded by Councilman Lewis to suspend the rules. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Ma'am, if you'd like to come forward and state your name. I had a feeling we were going to get around to it when you raised your hand. That's why I didn't.
Well, I appreciate it. I don't know protocol when it comes to these kind of things, and it looked like the public forum was completely filled, so I apologize. My name is Denise Hicks Barnes, and I was just curious, by it being New Street and its water main, does this include any road repair in that section? Because those roads are really bad, so I'm thinking if there's road repair included, that would be awesome. I'm just
Mr.
curious.
Koenig, you want to answer this question?
Yeah, the $246,000 expense only includes the replacement of the water main, any curb repair, for example, if there's a service that has to be extended over to the right-of-way. The paving of the road, including concrete rehabilitation, will be proposed about a year after the water main project is complete, so that there's time for any ground disturbance to settle, and then we can come back and put a new pavement mat down and have
It's definitely needed. So.
Yes, it is. It is one of the worst sections that we have.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go back to the original motion that we have. We're back under the rules. Back under the rules. The motion before us is to approve staff recommendations. Is there any further discussion? Councilman Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am definitely pleased to rise in support of this particular option, because I think the taxpayers were definitely well served by the wisdom of this council, and the taxpayers are saving in the neighborhood of $45,000, and which can go towards other desperately needed projects, because we have a number of projects that are needed to deal with water projects, water piping, and so I'm definitely in support of this project.
Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Sudler?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Hosfeld?
Yes.
Mr. Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Yes, motion passes unanimously. Agenda item 7B is evaluation of bids for the fiscal 2017 Street and Alley Program. Mr. Koenig, would you please brief us on this item?
Thank you again, Council President Slavin. In the packet is a multi-page action form from the Department of Public Works with respect to this proposed capital improvement. In concurrence with the City of Dover's capital investment plan, it is proposed to rehabilitate various pavement and concrete sections throughout the City of Dover during fiscal year 2017. The total length of scheduled street paving is approximately 1.72 miles. Along with repaving, this project includes installing 59 inlet protections, removal and replacement of approximately 400 linear feet of type 1 curb, 3,190 linear feet of type 3 curb and gutter, 230 linear feet of type 3 modified curb with a 2-foot pan, 13,390 square feet of 6-inch driveway apron, 21,325 square feet of 4-inch concrete flatwork, and 1,800 square feet of 4-inch concrete flatwork. 15 catch basin frame and heads, 170 linear feet of concrete valley gutter. Concrete work also consists of 385 square feet of detectable truncated domes. Other items included in the project include 1,020 linear feet of double yellow line solid striping, 1,900 linear feet of single yellow dash striping, 150 square feet of stop bar, etc. The proposed street links are Delaware Avenue, Buck Drive, Wyoming Avenue, Mockingbird Avenue, Lincoln Street, and a Northwest Street Alley. Bids were opened on Wednesday, September 21st, 2016. 2 contractors submitted unit price bids for the proposed work. Based on the proposed quantities, staff is recommending award to George & Lynch out of Dover, Delaware, using the without prevailing wage amount identified in the bid tabulation. It's $1,317,651.10 worth of expenses. As we indicated, George & Lynch has been determined to be the low bidder. Their previous work has been found to be satisfactory, and staff is recommending that their bid represents the fair market value and their qualifications are in accordance with the requirements of the project. As of October 5th, total available funding for the program is $1,037,600. This includes $825,000 in city funds and $112,600 in signed community transportation fund agreements, with an additional $100,000 of committed community transportation funds. The city is going to continue to seek additional funding from area legislators, and the contract documents allow for the city of Dover to alter the estimated quantities by up to 25%. Therefore, the contract can be adjusted to match the available funding. Based on those actions, staff is recommending award of a unit price contract based upon bid number 17-008 PW for the FY 2017 Street and Alley Program to George and Lynch Incorporated, using the non-prevailing wage unit prices for each work item submitted. The current value of the contract is $1,037,600 based on the current available funding. Actual quantities and locations will be adjusted to match the available funding. Work will be performed in strict accordance to the bid specifications, and the final contract or final value of the contract will be based upon final available funding in accordance with the contract language. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Mr. Koenig? Councilman Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. President. A couple quick questions. One is are these, I've noticed some of these have been listed as some of the, shall I say, worst streets when it comes to repairing the city. Is that the basis upon which you chose these, or in the most need of repair, or the length of time since last resurfaced?
So, for example, there are various criteria that go into it. Some of these are some of the worst street links. But for example, Buck Drive was an area where we replaced the sewer line about 1.5 years ago, and as we indicated on the water main project, we want to come back in about 1 year after these major capital improvements and finish off the paving section so that the road is essentially new from a visibility standpoint and a driving standpoint. We do try to look throughout the city and balance the program as much as possible. The FY16 program had a significant amount of expense in the first district, and there was a number of community transportation funds identified in that district. So we match up the ratings of the system, the capital plan related to water and sewer rehabilitation, as well as available funding from area legislators. So we try to hit as many of those marks as possible, and that's how this program was laid out.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Other questions for Mr. Koenig? What's the pleasure of council?
Move for acceptance of staff recommendation.
Second.
Been moved by Councilman Hare, seconded by Councilman Anderson to accept staff recommendation awarding a unit price contract to George and Lynch for the fiscal 2017 Street and Alley Program. Is there any further discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Sedler?
Yes.
Mr. Neal?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Hosfeld?
Yes.
Mr. Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Sladen?
Yes, motion carries unanimously. Agenda item number 9, city manager's announcements. Mr. Koenig.
Thank you. Just very briefly, I wanted to let everybody know that we are begun the fall 2016 water system flushing. We will be flushing the water system Sunday through Thursday night for the next 3 weeks. Any water quality concerns can be addressed to either the Department of Public Works or the city manager's office as we move through the flushing of the system. We do try to post where we're going to be. I think it's on the city website, so if there are any questions, please direct them to my office. Second item of notice, several months ago at this point, the council authorized the repair of sewer in North State Street. We are having a community meeting that's been noticed to, I believe, the area residents and interested parties. Location of the meeting will be Longwood Hall, room 104, 21 North Bradford Street, on October 13th at 7 p.m. to go over the construction schedule and inform the neighbors of what we expect to be the interruptions while this project happens. There are traffic diversions, there are some night work involved. We're trying to do everything we can to get the work lined up with the community needs and the schedules for area events. The last item, again, I just want to remind everybody, leaf collection starts next week, so we will be in full operations for leaf collection as of next Monday.
Thank you, Mr. Cody. Councilman Sutton.
Thank you, Council President. I just wanted to remind the constituents of Dover that a meeting in regards to the Dover Park is forthcoming and will be announced at the second meeting of this month, City Council meeting. And also, I would like to congratulate Reverend Rita Michoud Page, my aunt, for being part of or appointed to the Dover Human Relations Commission. I think that you'll do a great job in the 4th District. I'm very proud of you, what you've done thus far, and I think that you have a lot to offer to the city of Dover, and I'm looking forward to you sharing with the city of Dover your abilities, skills, and abilities. I think it'd be a great asset to the city of Dover. Thank you for joining. That's all.
Anyhow, we
Thank you.
moved on to council members' announcements. I had one that was a belated happy birthday to Councilman Roy Sutler. We missed it at the last meeting, so happy birthday.
Thank you, sir.
Councilman Neal.
Tomorrow night marks the holiest day of the Jewish New Year, and I wish the members, and I hope the members of the council will join me in wishing the members of the Jewish faith an easy fast starting tomorrow night during their prayers that will go from tomorrow night through Wednesday.
Here, here.
Councilman Cole.
I just want to give a shout out to our Dover Park and Recs department. My children, I have 2 children, they've been in various programs out there. My son's in the soccer program right now, and I've heard nothing but positive from the parents. We have a first-rate facility out there, and the staff and everybody has done a heck of a job out there, so I just wanted to.
Thank you, Councilman Cole. Very nice of you to say that. Councilman Hosfeld.
The Delaware Department of Transportation will be holding a public workshop. They want to solicit public input on the proposed improvements to Kenton Road between State Route 8 and Chestnut Grove Road. Public workshop is scheduled for October the 24th at Dover High School's cafeteria. The public is invited to attend any time between 4 and 7 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Hosfeld. Councilman Anderson.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I want to remind everyone that there's a couple of parades coming up. Assuming, I don't know, this year, when it comes to parades, that usually equals rain, but hopefully that won't happen this time. But Dover High School on Friday evening, and also Delaware State University Saturday. The homecomings, I want to congratulate each of those organizations for their great partnerships in this community. And also, I'd like to congratulate Capital School District on their Super Senator Day, which happened this past Saturday, which is about engaging in the community to engage some of the great needs that are in the community and with families. And I want to thank them for that. I also would like to thank Senator Bushweller and Representative Carson for their work with community transportation funds, and encourage other legislators to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you. Other members comments from members of council? We would be remiss if we didn't thank Representative Bennett, who's been here all evening and is a big supporter of the city of Dover on many.
She says she has lots of money.
Yeah, I heard, that's why I mentioned her. Is there a motion to adjourn? So moved. Moved by Councilman Lewis, second by Councilman Neal. All in favor? Aye. Stand adjourned. Thank you.